Okay, part 2, the cringe-worthy tarot. We're gonna get better at this. I want to promise, but I don't make promises I can't keep. Okay, let's try this again. The continuation of the last one. Hopefully this doesn't fall. I do not have the most nice setup here right now, so I just have to make do with what the F I have. Okay. Okay, so I asked for each one. Root chakra, I got the Fool. Sacral chakra, 8 of coins. Solar plexus, 8 of clubs. It's 2 eights. Heart chakra, the World. Throat chakra, 3 of clubs. Third eye, first eye, 7 of clubs. And the crown or hat, Queen of cups. Alright. It's so easy when we've been programmed to be naive about our root chakra. Especially when it comes to things that have been left unsaid. Or even lessons that haven't been learned. So the main thing I'm getting here with the root chakra, I want to say it's best for some people just not to know certain things, but I disagree with that. I think the whole reason that's coming up is because, well, they say ignorance is bliss. But sometimes when it comes to people being ignorant, it's not necessarily a choice that they've made. It's more like a naive sense where they haven't been given all the information. Almost the majority of the population hasn't been given all the freaking information, if you ask me. So if they're misconstruing things, or they're purposely leaving things out, even when it comes to school and stuff like that, and they're not teaching us parts of history that we should be learning, that in itself, is part of our roots. That's part of, it goes all the way back. That's one of the main keys we need in order to get back in touch with ourselves. So it's easy to say that we can all be the fool at one point or another. Definitely educate yourself, learn more. Even if you're not in school in particular, you can still learn more. We have the internet. It has an abundance of information on it, and you have to be able to discern the difference for yourself. But typically, if you are intuitive and you have, your gut instincts, you listen to them, and for the most part, what is truth and what's not. So the sacral chakra, 8 of coins, working hard. Now, sacral is also aligned with creativity. It's also, a part of that side of our brain that we're interacting with. So it's kind of crucial that we incorporate both sides, not just the logical or analytical side, but like the creative side and the childlike point of view side. A lot of the times, a lot of traumas do stem from the sacral, and unfortunately, it's a truth. It is a truth that a lot of us have been through and suffered through. But working hard towards repairing that sort of thing is important. Making sure that we mend certain things there so that we can move forward, because a lot of people don't even seem to realize that most of the decisions they make are based off the traumas that they have suffered in their past, even past lives, even if you do believe in that sort of thing. But the past, if it's not resolved, even down to where you're going to park your car, or what choice you make for a specific food, or how you align your shoes, or where you put certain objects in your house, like that all comes down to our past and what we've integrated with our current self, our adult version of ourselves. And doing the work there, the 8 of Pentacles, the 8 of Coins, doing the work is kind of important, for building a solid foundation. It's very important. I would encourage you to do your shadow work if you haven't already, if you're ready to do that. Just remember that it's almost like watching a movie. When you're reliving certain things, you're going over it. It can be traumatic for most people, but clinging to the emotion of it, Understand what I'm saying? If you cling to the emotion of what happened instead of trying to see what the lesson is, just your part in it, how how you felt is one thing, but what the lesson is that you learn from that. And sometimes the things that happen outside of our control, which is what other people do and say, is not our fault. And the best thing we can do is forgive ourselves and understand that fully. So what else? When it comes to the creative side, apprenticeship or craftsmanship, being very quick to learn, candor, modesty, handiwork, and personal effort. All of those should be what we should be striving for. What we're good at, what our gifts are, learn more about our gifts. Modesty is something I'm trying to work on. I don't know how I come off in the videos because I'm myself watching them. If I watch them back, I'm not a third party watching myself, so I don't know exactly how I come off to certain people. I try to be as modest as I can. I also do have pride in what I do, and I am very proud of myself, and I appreciate the work that I do to try to help others so they don't get stuck in the same situations I did. Or maybe they can understand things a little better, because I wasn't given even a rope to what. I wasn't given very much encouragement to climb out of the pits of hell. Anyways, quickness to learn. I've got under sacral chakra, I've got test. I would say that's one of the biggest tests. Since it's the creative side's linked up to the sacral chakra, which is also sexuality, it makes it crucial that we master that. I think even before the root, before healing any of the root, you got to master the sacral part, because that goes hand in hand. And when it comes to lust and love, there's a lot of debate there. But I would say that the whole idea of lust overtakes people as a form of comfort. And a lot of the time that in itself is the hugest, like one of the biggest tests in my personal experience and what I've witnessed other people go through as well. If you master that, if you master getting over the lust energy, and you have complete control over your sacral, which is very powerful. By the way, a lot of people will be celibate to harness that energy for the sacral chakra, because it can be put towards whatever creative endeavors you want. On to the next one, solar plexus. Do abundance. I link it up to abundance, your inner child. I've got 8 of clubs. To me, that's movement forward. So whatever it is that maybe you were feeling stuck about, you're moving forward. You hold on to that inner child light, your inner light, without judgment, forgiving yourself clearly. That's self-love. That's high vibrational frequency, and when you're in high resonance, when you're high vibing, you're in a like a energy of attraction. So you're pulling things in towards you. Let's say you've thought about something like months ago, you forgot about it, something positive, and you're all of a sudden out doing things, you're being in nature, and you're really happy, and all of a sudden those things start to kind of open up in front of you. Those things start to present themselves to you, and you're like, oh, I really, really wanted that. Oh, that's awesome. It's finally happening for me. Great. I totally forgot about that. I think that's kind of the way it's working. I'm still learning on certain ways, but it's a high vibrational frequency. So you want to call those things into you. You kind of got to be in the present, having fun, being in that creative mode, being in the present, doing things as a child would, just focusing on one task, then going to the other. Now, usually, generally, children's attention spans are minimal, but at the same time, if you think about it, they focus on a task and then they move to the next. They're not thinking about technically the past too much. They're not thinking about the future. They're just focused on that. And I tie that into the solar plexus very heavily, in my opinion. So it goes hand in hand with abundance. Since it's the 8 of clubs, honestly, progress is good. Just try not to make decisions too quickly. And it could be something that once you figured out how to kind of harness the solar plexus energy and focus in the present, things will just speed up for you like so quickly. They just keep going, keep going. It's almost like forward movement. You know, once you get the ball rolling, things all start playing out for you, which is kind of nice. So the heart chakra. I also relate it to balance. Self-love. Again, when you have that figured out, then the rest kind of are a lot easier to line up. It's easy to seek outside of yourself for the heart chakra. Very easy to just try to seek that within. And that's kind of what I don't know about yourself, but I notice like a pattern with a lot of people that they were kind of taught in order to move forward, you know, you have to find love within another person. Like that's the fulfillment. But in order to seek that in another person truly and genuinely, you have to be able to do that for yourself. So it's quite funny how the world pops up for that one. I mean, you are your own world. You can hold the whole world in your hands. You can do whatever it is that you want to do in your life. Nobody can stop you. You have to give yourself permission in order to move forward. You have to give yourself permission and love yourself fully in order to move forward. And it's quite convenient that that's the world that comes up with the heart there. I don't know much more I can say. It's a completion. It's fulfillment in itself. The world card under the heart. I mean, the rewards that come from that and hard work, I would say this would be the hardest. And your sacral, the test, your sacral chakra. And I've got it, I don't know if you can see that. I've got it under there, literally, test. Because it kind of is. You can get that down. Oh man, you have absolute control. A lot of more people are learning that too. I think old programming was that if you give of yourself, body, mind, and soul, and that's including in the 3D, the body, if you give of yourself, then that's how you get love and affection and attention in return. But that was never the case. That was never the case. That was never to be true. That was not supposed to be a thing. But I think that's a good test anyways. It almost makes me wonder if that's a reason why that test is so hard. So that you can have self-love. Because why give you access to all this if you can't even love yourself? That's pretty deep if you ask me. Okay. So to speak, throat chakra. I also have it under change. The 3 of clubs. You know, everything that you've been manifesting could be coming in. Ships coming in. You're standing there strong. You're not even budging. Not even like a big gust of wind can blow you over. I don't know about you, but it's windy here. Could be on your practical knowledge of things. Maybe you've accumulated more knowledge, so you have a better approach, I would say. Not just in business, but just maybe in your work, your personal life, negotiations. Remember, you can set your boundaries and you're allowed to compromise with people and you can even negotiate. But just as long as you're loving yourself, that's the key. Trade, if you're going to do so, do it with equal exchange. If you're willing to help a person out and they're appreciative and they help you in return, you don't expect it. But you will see when a person genuinely appreciates something, especially if they're not used to having help. And they want to show that affection in return and be like, I am so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for helping me, or thank you for doing this here. I know it may not be much, but like here's like, I picked a flower, or I just want to let you know. I just want to let you know how much you've helped me or encouraged me. Like that in itself is an equal trade as well. So since it's under the throat chakra, I'm going to assume that whatever it is in your business over here, definitely speak up, say what you need to say. Don't hold things back, especially in the creative section here. If you're working really hard, and you're diligent and you're self-disciplined and you're moving forward and you're not taking no for an answer when it comes to the business side of things, pushing forward, standing your ground, not letting other people sway your decisions once you've made them, especially if they're not even constructive criticism. They're just more of a insecurity of another person trying to kind of hold you a little bit, pull you back down to hell. So keep moving forward. Say what it is that you need to say. If you're not happy about something in your work, speak it, but speak it genuinely. If it's not reciprocated well, then you know what kind of environment you're in, and then you're purposely choosing to stay in that environment, okay? Self-accountability means that if you're in an environment that's toxic, it's not good, and you voice your concerns, your opinions about it, or you've asked people to respect your boundaries, or you've said whatever you need to say and it's not respected in return, it's not even acknowledged, or it's even just dismissed, then you get a very good view of what your current status or your current situation is. You now have the knowledge to make the certain choices you can make for yourself. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to take that. And if people are not respecting your boundaries, you can walk away or remove your energy from them. You know, just because you don't agree with somebody is fine. You don't have to agree with somebody. But if they're disrespectful to you or even behind your back and you get significant proof of that, then you know that is just, it has nothing to do with you. Ultimately, it has to do with them. But it's not really healthy to be around that kind of projection constantly. If you're in a negative environment with people projecting onto you, it's not always good. It's not the healthiest. So you want to be somewhere where people are going to be loyal to you and you in return. You want to be somewhere where people are going to have mutual respect for each other, open-mindedness, and if they don't agree, they're at least willing to discuss it like adults or human beings. Anything less than that, it depends how high or low you set your bar for your own standards and your own boundaries. Anyways, moving on to the next one, the third eye, or the first eye, because which one develops first? If you look into the growth there for a fetus to a baby to being born and everything like that, which one develops first? Look into that. Anyways, they call it the third eye. I'm going to say first eye too. You got the 7 of clubs. Maybe you can see some things that are being projected at you that maybe not spoken. That can create problems in itself, but you just got to have instead of being a fool about it, you just got to be aware of it and then make the certain choices you want to make in order to move forward, and then speak whatever truth you need to speak in order to advance in whatever it is that you're doing. Some people are very gifted and they can see far in advance certain things. Well, then you have the other advantage. There is no excuse for you to stay in a certain situation if you know how it's going to unfold. Things can change as soon as you speak your truth. So I would definitely recommend trying that first before you make any hasty decisions. But ultimately, if you are battling things that are unspoken, unseen, or things that are being sent towards you, even negative energy, spell castings, witchcraft, anything you want to call that, people even just speaking poorly about you behind your back, I mean, there's nothing you can do about what they are doing. Only what you're going to do yourself, and how you react ultimately is going to prove to yourself how much you have healed and how many lessons you have learned, and what you take with you into your future in your reactions to things and the reactions to things and the decisions that you make in your everyday life. So I would say we definitely would be successful, gain, and the overwhelming odds surmounted. So whatever it is, you have an advantage. It's nice that advantage is under there for the 7 of clubs being under the first eye, because ultimately, if you can see like a chess game, if you can see that, then it will definitely help you be victorious. Without question. And as long as you keep your love of self, respect for yourself, then there should be no problems there at all. Last but not least, the crown or the hat, and I've got it under fullness, and I've got the Queen of Cups, Miss Lovey-Dovey, holding her cup so high, full, overflown. Excuse me. If that is your true crown, abundance of love, you have to have it within yourself. There seems to be like a pattern going throughout this whole reading with the self-love thing, which is really nice and very true, if you ask me. And for that, the Queen of Cups to come under the hat, the crown, well, if you've mastered yourself, mastered how to love yourself, and you're willing to offer that to other people and help them without any conditions, it's unconditional love, then that in itself is fullness. The fact that it's under fullness, under the crown. In my opinion, we don't wear the crown on the head. It's within us. Nobody can knock it off you. Nobody can steal it from you, especially if it's in your DNA, your bloodline. Your gifts are your own. The only way you have access to them and moving forward is by loving yourself. You're not allowed to get all that other extra stuff. Even myself, depending on what frequency I'm on, I tap in and out of certain things. I can use certain gifts at certain times, but it's like myself, testing myself, because I know what my authenticity is when I am not vibing out of that, or I'm doing things out of insecurity, or doing things out of a low vibrational frequency. It's like I will temporarily not allow myself to access certain things. If you're trying to get all this and more, and you're not even loving yourself one bit, then that is a recipe for disaster. That is building an empire or towers or whatever you want to call it, building it off of a faulty foundation the moment one brick is removed at the very source, at the very bottom. The moment the truth comes to light, the moment the truth comes to light, everything crumbles. So make sure you have enough love of yourself. Make sure you truly do give a shit about you, even if nobody else does. So hat and crown, I would say that since that's showing up, that you do, and keep it that way. The Queen of Cups, so sweet. Yeah, like warm-hearted, fair. To be fair and just, I think, is really, really important. Adored, beloved, good friend and mother, devoted wife, practical, honest, loving and intelligent, gift of vision. It's nice how that comes right after the eye. Practical and honest. Honesty really does help. I think it's not so much what you say, it's how you deliver the message.